Hello, happy Monday. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time where we can relax and craft together for about an hour. And I work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole process and sew and stitch with me and just chit-chat and hang out. So tonight we are continuing the Triangle Tango Quilt by Jenny Doan from Missouri Star Quilt Co. Here we are. It is, this is a king-size quilt here, so those triangles are actually rather large. Here is one of our triangles here with some adorable little cloud fellers on there. So tonight we are working on sewing our sashing pieces. So we have some sashing pieces left, our little strips. We have some strips left. We are going to sew them onto our remaining half square triangle squares that we got going on here. So we got just about halfway done with that on Thursday. So I'm hoping tonight we can finish cruising through that and maybe even separate them all from the machine. So that is the plan. Thanks again, you guys, for joining me here tonight. I know it's been a few days. I wasn't here on Friday. My parents came to town, so we were hanging out with them. I did get some cute things from the Art Whirl, so I'll show you guys those too. And I'm going to flip you guys around. We'll get going. All right, so here we are. Here's the stack that we got done on Thursday. So they're still all connected. Each of these half square triangles and sashing pieces are connected by those little threads. We are chain piecing. So we're just kind of going here. But I just wanted to share with you guys a couple things that I got from Art Whirl. So, oh, Gretchen, I hope that went all right. So, all right. So you guys know that my dad and my brother took a glass blowing class. This is not one of theirs, but I bought one of these, and so did my mom at the glass blowing place, so at Foci Glass in Minneapolis here. But look how pretty this is. So both my dad and husband got to make glasses like this too. So they're right now they're in the annealer, I think that's what it's called, where they're still cooling down. So hopefully I get to show you guys John's pieces that he made from he took a glass blowing class. So hopefully I get to show you those soon, but we can't pick them up till tomorrow yet. But then I got this adorable little mug, which I just love. So this is just for tiny cups of coffee. And then I had to get one more mug here. So look how adorable this is. And it's got a little flower on the inside. I love how, bumpy and cute it is. And just like the little handle is just so sweet. So I had to share those with you guys before we got started. This would actually go with this fabric collection really, really well, I think. But anyway, I had so much fun just hanging out with them and seeing all the fun art and watching my dad and John get to do glass. No, Kathy, I did not make these. So they are from Art Whirl in Minneapolis here, which is a time of year where there's a lot of artist buildings, and when there's Art Whirl is like the event, and they all open their studios and share their art, and it's like a huge craft show that's a whole neighborhood, like blocks and blocks and blocks, and buildings and buildings and buildings. So it's awesome. Oh, that's only a juice mug. It is for Deborah, it is for, you have the hot pot of coffee over here, and then that's the little mug you put it in so it doesn't get cold. You always have hot coffee because you drink it so quickly. That's what that little baby mug is for. I like little mugs. I have a lot of little itty bitty mugs. But you guys, this glass blowing class that my dad and John took just was so cool. They actually both made 6 different projects, and they're just all sitting in that kiln in there, or the annealer. They're still cooling from the weekend, so we don't even know what they look like yet. We just got to watch them make it, but you know, we didn't even know the colors or anything until it cools all the way. So we're on pins and needles. Oh, Gretchen. Yep. You definitely came on a really poor, chilly weekend. It was not pleasant. Oh, you guys, I'm telling you, this is the perfect size for little baby coffees. It's always going to be hot, and oh, it's just nice and thin. I'm telling you, this is going to be like the best new coffee mug, just itty bitty. But I do just really like this fella too. Look how sweet. See, like for tea. Oh man, it's just too dang cute. Did they remember to blow and not suck in for the glass blowing? Oh, that's funny. So that was a whole deal. They did actually get to blow the glass. So they made like they got to make 6 projects. So it was a 2-day intensive. So it was like 10 to 4 o'clock on 2 days. So a Saturday and Sunday. And there was only 4 people in the class and two instructors, so they got to really do a lot. Oh yeah, it'd be like for an espresso cup. Exactly, Christy. I know, it's a happy mug. But yeah, this class was really neat. So they got a lot. I mean, like total one-on-one learning, and I guess they started out by making flowers, and that's just, I think, to really get a feel of the dipping, I don't know, that rod. I don't know all the terms. I didn't take the class. I just picked up a little bit from watching them. But the punty or something, I think that's what that big rod is that you dip the end into the glass. But they started by making flowers. And then they could just like pull the glass and then pull like petals out of the glass. Like they flattened the end so it was really flat. And then if they pulled on it, then it would be like little petals, so that they got to play with the glass then. And then they got to make paperweights. So they again like got to make a little blob of glass and then roll it around in colors that they liked, and then twist and grab and whatever. And they had to, you have to keep heating it up again. So you got to keep that in mind and keep it going. And then you put a big blob of clear glass around it. So they had to make sure that didn't drip and fall to the floor, and keep twisting their wrists to keep it moving. And but in the end, they and then they got to make like other colorful flowers. So they got to play with color a little bit more. And then they got to blow. So none of those were blown. That was just kind of manipulated. And then they got to blow ornaments. So they got to blow like ornaments like a bubble. They basically got to blow a bubble, but they got to put color on that they wanted for that. And then they got to blow cups. And that's what I'm so excited to see. So the cups, I mean, they're not quite like this. They could make it whatever size and whatever colors and stuff that they wanted on it. But I mean, this is a hefty, awesome, amazing cup. So we were so excited that they got to make cups, and I think they're just going to be amazing, and I can't wait to see it all. Hopefully we'll pick it all up tomorrow. It had to cool in that annealer, which is, I think, just a kiln that cools them down. It had to stay in there a couple days. Oh, you love the pumpkins that folks blow. Oh, and Murano, Italy, a man demonstrated. Oh, neat. Yep, and Chihuly stuff. It's just so pretty. Oh, pulled a small horse from a blob of glass. Isn't that just amazing, Kathy? It really was neat. And then, you know, there was other people who were renting time, like they had the studios there and stuff, so they were making like really cool stuff. Oh, you would love to do it, Nolan. Yeah, it was really cool, and I mean, just the coordination of it all. No, it was not at the university. It's called Foci Glass, so FOCI. I think it's maybe, I don't know. If you Google Foci Glass Minneapolis, I'm sure you'll get somewhere. But it was really neat. So this was the only course that was like a weekend intensive, which is great for out of town people like my dad. Otherwise they have like, you know, a couple hours every, you know, for 6 Tuesday nights or something, you know what I mean? Like for more for like locals who are going after work. Kind of like how that painting class I took was. But oh man, it seemed like they had a lot of fun. Oh, they made marbles too at the end. We missed that, my mom and me. We watched for a little bit on Sunday when they were making their cups and their blown ornaments. We watched that. We weren't planning on really spending that much time there, but it was so fascinating and fun to watch, and it was just really neat. So we ended up staying there a lot longer than we thought. It was also pouring rain and freezing, so staying inside by all the hot glass was kind of nice that day. And they were selling chocolate down in one of the different studios there, so we had reason to stay. But yeah, I'm just really excited to see it. But if any of you guys are interested, that was just really a neat course. It was like the crash course glass class or something at Foci. Your daughter did pottery in high school and loved it. Yeah, that's something that would be cool to get into. We have a clay, like a plate. You know, living in a town, like a big city, you know, big-ish city like Minneapolis. I mean, there a lot of neat art things around. Like, you know, we do have a glass place where you can take really cool glass making courses where you actually get down in there, and you know, we have really cool clay places where you can take classes. So I don't know, and painting and all that, so I feel pretty lucky about all that. Oh, you had to go to Mall of America. Oh, and buy a coat. Oh my gosh, Gretchen. Yeah, yep. You know, it's silly because so on Sunday, yesterday, it was raining and like, you know, barely cresting 40 degrees outside. So cold, and rain. It was just unpleasant. And then today it was 70 degrees again and sunny for the later in the afternoon. And Saturday, it was also really cold. Saturday, it was supposed to rain all day, but it ended up not, which was awesome because that was when we were walking around. But the week before that, it was our first 80-degree day. So, I mean, it's really hit and miss this time of year. You just never know. It's just kind of funny. Or not funny at all. Yeah, this morning it was chilly and I had my scarf and gloves and all that, and by the end of the day I had to, you know, I went for a walk without my coat on and with nothing, so. Oh, you swear you thought it'd snow? Well, that's the thing, Gretchen. We had a frost warning on Monday morning, this morning. So like, you know, Sunday night, Monday morning, there was a frost warning. So like, if you planted your tomatoes already, you had to cover them up, sort of thing. So yeah, coming out of town from a warm place, you got a little kick of some Minnesota weather. You know, I've never been to Paisley Park before. We were talking about that this weekend. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if it's probably a place that I should just go and see at some point. Oh, you saw the tulips. So we were just talking about that Harriet or Gretchen around Lake Harriet today, that the tulips are there and all the trees are blooming. Our lilacs are blooming, and we cut a whole big bundle and brought it inside, and now our house smells amazing. I'm gonna hopefully cut some more tomorrow. At least that's the plan. Oh, Colorado got snow today? Oh, man. Yep, Paisley Park is Prince's whole deal, or his house, or that whole thing. Honestly, I don't know all that much about it. I'm an outsider, so I came from Wisconsin, so I'm not, Prince isn't as ingrained in me as the Minnesota people. But yeah, it's a place I should go see at some point, I think. Yeah, on Saturday when we were walking around outside, I had my coat and 2 sweaters on and a scarf and gloves. So that you didn't have a coat and had to get one, I'm not surprised. Oh, it is snowing there in Colorado. Oh, no, Tracy. It's just... I just want, like, summer. So just so you guys know, we got a stack about like this left here. I have my strips on this side and my squares on this side all turned the right way so I can just get sewing. And it's getting bulkier and bulkier behind me. You know, soon this is gonna fall off the table, and I hope it doesn't do that, because then it'll get unruly. It'll just be heavy if it's hanging off the table. So we talked about this a little bit. Yeah, exactly, Nolene. We talked about this a little bit last week, but I think this is going to be the last week I work on this project for a little while. So we won't have it done, but I'm hoping to get the blocks done. So we have this strip and we have one more strip that we need to put on it. And I'm hoping that can be accomplished this week. But, you know, I've been a little off on my estimates on how long these quilt projects are going to take. So, but I'm hoping we can finish that this week. And then on like finish it Friday or some other day, we'll lay it all out, because that's what happens next. I got to lay this all out and, you know, label the rows and all that. And I need like kind of a bigger space, a bigger kind of like moment to do that in. So, you know, so after this week, we'll stop working on this and we will pick back up on the Splendid Sampler to quilt along for a bit. Then at some point, we'll hop back to this and lay it all out on the ground. And then we can start sewing the top together. So we'll do some little switching back and forth between the Splendid Sampler and this project. And, you know, we will still, I want to do some embroidery projects and other projects here as well. But yeah, but this week, hopefully, if my timing is accurate at all, we'll probably take a little bit of break on this to jump back into the Splendid Sampler. Alrighty, I like these cute little rainbows. Uh-oh. We may be out of bobbin, which is kind of surprising because I just wound a whole huge bobbin. So let's see what's going on here. Check it out. We are totally out of this bobbin. Did I wind more than one of these? I don't think so. Yeah, this is a different color. So I guess we're taking a break. Taking a break to wind the bobbin. Wow, I thought that was going to last a lot longer, but I suppose when you sew a straight line forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, that uses up some thread. So, all right, so I got my thread on top here, going through that little tension disc and into the bobbin, flick that shut. So when the bobbin gets filled up, like enough, this will pop back and then it'll stop. So this controls whether the machine stops and starts. I'm just loosening the wheel, so hopefully my needle doesn't go up and down. And, oop, let's put that shut again. And there, that thread will break. And there we go. Like my needle wants to go a little bit yet, but not totally. Wow, I really am surprised that we're out of bobbin already. There we go. See that popped out? That means we're full. All right. That didn't take too long. Tighten that back up. Alternate weeks between the splendid. Oh yeah, we could do that. Oh yeah, splendid sampler. We could alternate weeks between splendid sampler 2, embroidery, quilting, etc. We'll do a version of that. I don't think we'll be doing exactly week by week because it sort of depends on where we're at with the projects. But in general, that might be how we start to go. Just start flipping between projects. Sometimes that's the only way to get it done. Ooh, gosh, it got fuzzy down here too. So I'm going to have to, well, probably this week, before we get back on the Splendid sampler, I will defuzz again. So I'll clean the machine out. Oh, yeah, even the bobbin's really fuzzy. You know, a good rule of thumb is to clean it when you switch the bobbins, but, you know, I just want to keep sewing. So before I switch back to the Splendid sampler, I'll make sure to open up the machine again and probably oil it and for sure get a brush and clean this out a little bit. All right, but we're back in business. Here, I'm gonna get a little lower again for you guys. Oh, you sewed 10 blocks and no bobbin. Oh, that is the worst, isn't it? All right, I'm gonna do just a little back tack here to lock that in place. I'm gonna just snip these two so they're out of the way. All right, I think we're good again now. Hey, that didn't take too long. I don't feel so bad about that. Tension looks like it's okay still. All right. If you blink, you wouldn't have known that we ran out, right? That didn't take long at all. It's fun having several projects to jump between. I agree. So I do like, you know, sometimes it can be stressful having lots of projects and sometimes you just want to work on the one and get it done. But I mean, and then sometimes it's nice to know that you have that other project available if that's just what you're feeling like. Because, you know, sometimes it's hard to start. Sometimes it's hard to start a project. Sometimes it's easiest just to know, oh, I can just see what row I'm on to knit and just start up that row without having to think about a whole new project. So I really do go by my moods for sewing or for working on craft projects. Like, if I'm feeling like I need to do a new project, I'll do a new project. If I'm feeling like, oh man, I have so many unfinished things, I need to get them all done, then I will start ticking them off one by one, you know? It's just, you know, if I just need to chill and want to sit and watch TV or whatever, maybe I'll get a knitting project out that I have going on. It's nice to just know that they're available. I have a little tiny crochet project of a doily in a plastic bag in my purse that I call the emergency craft project. So if I'm somewhere, you know, waiting in a line or something, or have to wait for someone, then I know I have that project if I just feel like I need to calm down or work on a craft project or something. So I have them for all different reasons. So sometimes I don't feel so bad that I have a lot of unfinished projects because they all serve a purpose. Then other times I just want to get them all done. Ugh, this pile's getting huge. All right. This one's not folded over quite right. There we go. I typically have different types of projects too, like, you know, knitting versus sewing. Again, each one has their kind of purpose in my, like, moodscape. Oh, you have a knitting project in your bag? Nice, Don. Whenever, you know, sometimes it sits in that bag for a long time, but when I pull it out, when I needed that emergency craft project, I always feel super smart. Ha-ha! Emergency craft project to save the day. Oh, you tried to get your sister to show you how to make the Soho sheep bobble. So you know, we're working on that knitting project. It's still hanging out here. I do have both ears done on it now, but that sheep pillow from Pearl Soho, it has those bobble knit stitches, and I'm telling you, that's what kept me from working on that project for like 5 years. I literally bought a kit for that with all the yarn in there, and I had the pattern printed out, but I didn't quite get, or it just seemed too difficult at the time to do that bobble stitch. And then all of a sudden, it was the time, and I just looked it up and figured out how to do it and got excited about knitting again, and then started doing it. But I'm telling you, I was sitting around for 5 years. But, you know, to each their own time. The projects will let you know when they want to get finished. Sometimes you just gotta roll with it. This is the stage where it looks like I don't have a lot left, but my pile never gets any smaller. So if we do get the glass that my husband and my dad made tomorrow, if it's okay with John, I will show you what he made, and then we'll bring Dad's home. And then if we're home coming up here and I do a scope at my parents' house, then I'll show you what my dad made. I can't wait to see. Oh, you got about 20 hexes glued up at jury duty. Oh man, I bet you they, it's the thing that like, what are you doing? You're a crazy person. But then after a while, I bet you they're like, oh dang, that's a smart person, brought something to do here this whole time. And I think that's just smart. Ooh, that's kind of scary. Ooh, your hand's sewing a binding. Nice. I like doing that part. Then you know you're on the last step and it's relaxing. Oh, nice, Noeline. Well, that's like my jean quilt. I'm still quilting it right now. I'm hand tying it, so it's taking a long time. But yeah, that jean quilt, that's approaching a 20-year project, I think. One of these days it'll get done. I've actually gotten a lot done with you guys on here. It's still not completely done though. I'm kind of almost done hand tying the top, the main area of the top, but I have the whole border to do yet. And that's probably about the same amount of surface area as the top, really. So it's got some time needed to put into there yet. Whoop, lost that guy, come back. And then sometimes you see a project again that you haven't worked on in a while, and your tastes might have changed, and it might be, it's not the time for you yet project. Or, you might think someone else might like to finish this instead, and, getting rid of a project, even if you don't finish it, sometimes makes it feel finished in the same way too, which is kind of interesting. I think this is our last happy blue rainbow fabric. Ugh, so much fabric. So here, look at the stack that's going on over here. It's just overflowing. I got to keep kind of throwing it up on top there. So it's 168 of these. Actually, it's 167 because we do actually have the one done. So this is what we're going for right here. We're doing the short side now, and then it gets this extra long one here, and then that's our finished block. So not complicated or anything at all. There's just 168 of them, so they take a while. Oh, the granny square that you have sewn together, it's so heavy. Oh, that's what makes the perfect sleeping blankies. That's how my jean quilt is going to be. That's going to be massively heavy. I'm a little worried about it going in our washer, but I think we might be able to fit it in there and have it work. I'm not going to test that theory until it's done, though. It's too late now to make it any smaller. Ooh, Lucy, you're crocheting a penguin. Cute. Cute, cute. I think this is our last happy sunshine, so we are getting through these. Last happy sunshine. It keeps folding over my hand here because there's just so much fabric over there that it doesn't have anywhere to slide to anymore. Okay, we got some gray stars now. Oh, you really love this pattern and it's fun to say. So it is, you know, it's fun. So this is totally different than the Splendid Sampler 2 because we just get to do the same motion over and over again and work with larger pieces of fabric. So there's kind of more of a relaxation to it and you can just let your mind be a little bit versus the Splendid Sampler where I feel like I'm, you know, gotta think through things and I'm learning something all the time, which is awesome. It's just a different type of project. And, you know, that's why this one feels like a little break. This one feels like we got a little breather. A couple more of these guys. I think we'll have one or two of these smaller sashings left, if I remember correctly. I can't remember the math quite right, but I know we were going to have extra. But only by one or two. But we're to the ones that I had to press open because there's that crease, so that means we're getting close to the bottom of the pile. Yeah, with Splendid Sampler 2, every block is a challenge. I know, you have to concentrate. Yep, need a breather. So this is like our halftime show right now, just to take a little breath. Although I'm not quite halfway done with the blocks. I know ironing all these is gonna be a trick, isn't it, Jennifer? So that's gonna take time too, but I think it'll feel good. I'm actually feeling better about ironing. You know, that's one of those parts where I just feel like it always takes forever and I forget about it, but I don't know. I think I'm starting to be okay with it for like big projects like this. It's kind of getting more kind of relaxing for me. Cutting is still, I still feel nervous and anxious about cutting. Oh, you want to do this project, Robin, but you're just trying to finish a few others and get back to both Splendid Samplers. I know. Sometimes it's tough. So that's when I'm like, where's my mood at? Do I think I'll feel better by cranking out some of my unfinished projects, or do I think I'll feel better by trying out a new one? I kind of weigh that to see what mode I'm in. Ooh, that was it for the stars. We do have some moons on the bottom yet. Oh, you like pressing quilt stuff, but not clothes. I hear that. right. Yeah, I do like the bigger squares, and you know, this does show off fabric, this pattern. I've been seeing some of you guys working on this project in the Splendid, or not the Splendid sampler, in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group. Oh, I can't believe them. They just look so beautiful. And yeah, they're just, you know, I'm telling you, like, this is just chill. It's a lot because you got to do the same thing over and over again. So it's still taking, you know, a lot of time here, but you do just can kind of turn off your brain and work on the different parts, and it's pretty relaxing. Ugh. Throw these on the pile. Oh, it looks like, oh wait, no, we finished the blue rainbows. I still have some gray rainbows sitting here. Pile's so itty bitty. Heh. Getting excited. So I would like to, well, I was going to say I'd like to start pressing tonight, but we have to trim all these. Not trim, but I have to separate all these before we press them all. So that, again, it's super easy, but you multiply it by 167 times having to do it, then it adds up. So we probably won't start pressing till tomorrow, but I'm hoping to get them all clipped at least. So we'll press and hopefully start sewing the other strip on. Oh, you like the feeling, Bonnie, when you finish a big project and then you're like, now what do I do? There's definitely some relief when you finish a project, I think. Pile's getting low. I think there's just 2 more fabrics. We have these gray rainbows and then a couple more moons. That looks like it. Like concentrating now, getting this guy done. All right, 1 more rainbow after this. Last rainbow. Oh, it looks like I only have 3 of these little moons, so we are almost there. Oh, that feels good. So that's the other thing, like, you know, if you think of each step as its own win, that's kind of makes the whole process feel a little bit better, I think. Like we're almost done with this part and we won't have to do it again. All right, last one, and we will have, yep, we'll have 2 of these little white sashings left, so I don't need those. I'm gonna put them in my scrap bag for this project. Ooh, I need to get a leader. Let's get one of those out. Hold on. Didn't think we'd get to that. All right, let's snip. So I am gonna get up here. Oh, think of each step as a win is a great metaphor for life. I like that. All right. So we have this giant stack to snip. And what I mean by snip is they are all connected in one long chain yet. So we have to cut each one of these little things, but I have a little trick for that. First of all, I think these guys will get all out of whack, so I'm gonna get them out of my way. And we're gonna get my seam ripper. So we have done this here before. So here's my seam ripper. I'm gonna open that up. And let's get, I think it worked well with these, oops, dropping stuff. Worked well with these Aurifil threads here. I'm gonna pop this into the top like that. So I got a little spool and the seam rippers up there, and then I could just set that there, and now I can go through and snip these, and it goes a little bit faster than a scissors. And I'm gonna try and place them all the same way right away, because that'll make it easier for when we press. So I am kind of being a little futzy with placing them, but I think we'll be happy about that later. But this is just, rather than holding a scissors in my hand, this is just a little easier. Oh, I'm gonna have to look into what you guys are talking about, because I'm not sure I know what you're talking about either with a facing for the quilt. I just saw what you're talking about though now. Oop. So we got 167 of these to do. Oh, that's sweet. I love that pattern, Catherine. I've not made it, but I know what one you're talking about. All right, let's get in the groove now. If this pile gets too unruly, I'll just start another one and stack them. I feel like I'm a little fumbly yet. Don't quite have a rhythm. Although all this stack here is crazy. So we do have to press all these, and then we'll get to start sewing on our 8.5-inch strip. Yeah, if you guys have anything to share, be sure to throw it up in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group. I just like seeing people making stuff, you know, and what everyone's making. It's just fun to share, and I think we have a nice little community there where we can just see what everyone's doing. We're gonna have a nice big stack here when we're done. So again, I'm putting them all in the same. I could just clip them and throw them in a pile, but I need to press them all, and having them all facing the same direction is just gonna make the motions easy. Like I'll just have to do the same motion over and over again. That'll make the pressing a lot easier. Ooh, the stack's getting smaller. Yeah, my pile's getting tall, and my my giant mountain over here feels like it's getting smaller, so I'm stoked. Oh, like if you turn a quilt like right side out, kind of like that, like if you sew like the batting on the outside and then flip it right side out, is that kind of what you're meaning by a facing for a quilt? I'm gonna have to look into that. Ponies, I like these guys. Might get too tall to use the seam ripper anymore soon here. Then we'll start another stack. Oops, stuck, there we go. I think I kind of know what you guys are saying with the facing. I'll look into that. Just to make sure I'm understanding correctly. All right, I definitely want to get all these clipped and on this stack tonight. So we got about 5 minutes left. I don't know if we'll quite finish in that amount of time, but I don't want to leave a stack of unclipped guys here. So we're just gonna keep going till all of these fellers are snipped. I would like to start fresh with some pressing tomorrow. And this stack is reaching my limit, I think, for height before I start a new one. It's so funny because there's a lot more fabric on this side because of this extra strip layer than here. So look how skinny this is and how fat it is in the seams in the middle. So I think I'm going to set that aside. Let's get another pile started. And then I'll put the two piles together just to see how big it is. Okay, now I think I can move a bigger chunk of this up here. Am I going to use fluffy batting for this, or are you asking about something else? I'm not. You quilted, free motion quilted. Oh, the paws and the bones and the hearts. Aww. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Oh, I bet you it's so darling, Catherine. Yeah, poofy batting on that would be really pretty. Oh, for this quilt, I think, although now that you say poofy batting, that does sound really fun. I think I might use It depends if there's any left. My mom and I bought that giant roll of bamboo batting several years ago. I'm hoping there's enough of that left for this. And I think it is not poofy. It's rather thin. It kind of drapes nicely. And I'm thinking that because I think I want this to be kind of more of a summer quilt. And I think that bamboo batting will be a little bit lighter. Oh, and Leslie Ann, I have no idea how I'm going to quilt this yet. I would love to do free motion quilting. I'm not doing quilt as you go for this. I'm going to sew it all together as a top and then quilt it somehow. But I don't think I'm going to do just like straight line quilting, and I don't think I'm going to do a tied quilt like with yarn. Those are kind of my old go-to methods, and now that I've practiced free motion quilting a lot more, I do want to attempt that with a larger quilt like this. I don't know how that will work, on again, my small little machine here, but I want to give it a try. And I don't know how I want to do it yet. Like, there's opportunity for sure, like for texture and fun. Like I could only quilt in the white areas. That would be kind of neat. And then leave the triangles open, or like frame the triangles with some straight line stitching and then quilt everywhere else. Or well, that's kind of what I just said. Or I could do like those little arcs in all of these. And I think those arcs are always pretty in shape. So there's that. I don't know. We could do feathers across the whole thing. Who knows? Or like an all over thing. Oh yeah, I could rent time on a long arm. That would be a fun new adventure. Never done that before. I've tested one here and there, the long arm things, and oh man, it would be fun. But yeah, I don't know. That's true. Could rent time on a big long arm. That's an option for sure. Oh, you put wool in your king size quilt. It's light and airy. Oh, interesting. Yeah, maybe I'll look into it a little bit more. Honestly, I haven't thought too much about it, the batting yet. Or, I've thought about it. I haven't thought far enough to make any purchase decision or whatever. No matter what I get, I mean, with that bamboo batting, I already, in theory, have it. And you know what? I have some warm and natural here. I don't know if I have enough for this whole thing either. So there's two options where I potentially might already have batting. So that might be a reason enough for me to use that. But I don't know. I'll have to look into what might work the best. It would be fun to do super poofy, a super poofy quilt, especially with this. Oh, especially with the clouds on here. Like we could stitch some really poofy clouds. That would be rather fun. Oh man. Yeah, poofy. This would be a good quilt to be super poofy, wouldn't it? I don't think I'll put borders on it, Mary, just because I think it's going to be rather large to begin with, so I don't think I'll need it, although borders are always pretty. I'm kind of treating, so I'm going to do, let me show you guys this. I want to do this bright green. It looks so bright, but I want this to be my binding. So it will almost be like a tiny, tiny itty bitty border around it. Like the binding is, technically a little border, right? It's framing the piece. So it will have that tiny itty bitty sliver of green all the way around. And I think that's all I will do for a border. Although, once I get this laid out, like it's all sewn together, I can kind of address that at that point. Like if for example, like I might sew it together and be like, oh God, it'd be nice if there was, 6 more inches around every side. and then it would be just perfect for our bed. You know what I mean? So if I think something like that, then I might go ahead and add a little bit of a border. But if it's just right, then I won't. I'll just have that green, little bitty green binding. And the back, I want that green color too. We're getting there. My little mountain is so much smaller. Almost done here. So we'll definitely start pressing tomorrow, and I hope we finish pressing. I don't see why we wouldn't finish it. We did kind of 1.5 tasks tonight, the snipping and then the half of the sewing. But I think the pressing will probably take half as long as the sewing and twice as long at least as the snipping. So hopefully we can get it all done in one bout. Oh, you knitted socks with a bamboo yarn and they are comfortable and holding up well. Okay, so maybe that's reason enough to use the bamboo. I think I used the bamboo for my first Splendid Sampler quilt. And you know what? I think that is kind of lighter. Or at least I'm cold when it's cold outside still. I need to get the heftier quilt on top of that sometimes. Getting there, maybe about 10 or so more. Oh gosh, I'm realizing that some of these bottom ones that have been sitting in the pile for a while are getting pretty wrinkled, but you know, that's fine. We're pressing them tomorrow, I suppose. Almost there. All right, few left. Oh man, there's so many choices for quilting yet, isn't there? I'm excited. It'll be fun. In theory. All right, last one. Snip, and there's my little leader. Okay. Ooh, gosh, I almost just stabbed myself. So this is where I kind of get this stuck in here. I had to get a pencil to pull or to push out my cap from in here the other day. So let's see if I can do that again. So stab that in here. So I think oh, there we go. Got it right away. But I think last time I used one of those Aurifil threads, but I feel like I used something else a while ago that didn't get stuck. But anyway, that is my little process for snipping. So we got these and these. So pretty dang big stack going here. I'm just going to stack them all together just because it's fun. But there we go. Look, that is crazy town. That is a lot. It feels like a big stack. All right, I'm going to flip you guys around and we're going to call it an evening and I'll show you just how big this is. Oh, Angela has some great ideas from Midnight Quilter, Angela Walters. She does a lot of quilting. Oops, sorry, I'm just trying to get this tilted. But Nolene says that she has some good suggestions for large quilts. I will definitely look into that when we get there. All right, here we are. My giant sandwich. It's as big as my head. Look, but here's the white side where it's not much, and then look at in the middle where all the seams are. Look how it goes from so short to so tall. Crazy. I'm excited though. We will get pressing that right away tomorrow, and yes, then we can finally get that last. Here's that last strip we need to put on. So first we need to press this guy flat, And then we'll be able to sew this guy on, and then our blocks are done. So this is as far as we're getting this week. After we get all the blocks looking like this, then I'm going to stop and we'll go back to the Splendid Sampler 2. The next time I'm at my parents' house and I have the camera and everything there, I will lay this all out on their nice big floor, I think. Hopefully that's the plan. We'll see how that goes. Otherwise, I'll do it in my living room and just squeeze in there. So, all right, you guys, thanks again for joining me here again this Monday. I'll get this video up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies if you wanted to watch the replay there. Yeah, the stack is humongous. All right, you guys. I'll be back again tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central here on the Penguin and Fish page on Facebook. So thanks again, you guys. Nice seeing y'all again. Good night.